2K Sports Pregame Show.
This is 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson here, joined by the great Shaquille O'Neal and the equally great Kenny the Jet Smith. Our coverage tonight from Target Center as the Minnesota Timberwolves will be playing against the Toronto Raptors. For Toronto, these guys are playing good basketball with 7 wins in their last 10 games, and they like their chances tonight. Chance tonight to see Jonas Valanciunas. He's a player who we keep waiting on to make that big leap. It's been a while now since he was drafted back in 2011. What needs to happen for him to be an all-star level center? Kenny?
Well, I think he needs to find consistency and rhythm to his game because he's got the size and touch that most bigs don't have. I haven't seen a big like that.
I agree with you, Kenny. You know, sometimes he shows flashes at times, but he needs to be impactful at all times. Not some of the times, all of the time.
Can you spell Valanciunas?
Yeah. Valen, V-A-L-E-N, Chunas, C-H-O-O-N-I-S, Valanciunas.
Very wrong, but very good, admirable effort.
Yeah, that was a
V-A-L-N-C-I-U-N-A-S.
Smart guy.
Yeah, that was you had the phonetic spelling.
That's right.
Down pat. Yeah. Here's Kevin Harlan, H-A-R-L-A-N.
I never want to waste your time. My mind, so precious. It's yours, it's mine. Hey, look at the time. My God, so precious. It's yours, it's mine.
Well, the weekend obviously is in full swing, and so is the NBA. Hey, thanks for joining us on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. From the sideline, our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge. Last outing for Minnesota, the loss to the Rockets in Houston. And that does your confidence guys no favor. They got manhandled in that one. It wasn't pretty.
Yeah, that was more than just a tough loss. That was a complete embarrassment.
Yeah, the woodshed is what we call that. They annihilated them, simply had no answers for how to slow them down.
And before we get going, let's hear from David Aldridge on the sideline. David?
Well, guys, you know, sometimes it can be a problem when you have as much talent as the Timberwolves do on their team. And it's a lot of offensive talent as well. So are there enough touches for everybody? Now, Karl Anthony Towns says yes. He says, no matter what, we are all going to eat. There is enough food on the table for all of us. Kevin, this is always a problem for you, but we're going to let you eat first.
All right, D, not a problem. I ordered more than enough for all of us. For a young player, Clark, it's adjusting to the speed of the NBA and the length of the schedule. So how do you power through that rookie wall? How do you survive that?
Well, there's no magic formula, Kevin. You just have to stay the course because it comes in different times for different players. For me, it was after about 60 games. I was a starter playing 34, 35 minutes a game. So it was a combination of fatigue and just getting used to 2.5 times more games than I had ever played in my career. So you fight through it, stay with your habits, stay with your preparation, and eventually you find your legs.
All right, let's set the floor. Courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. So for Toronto right now, the talented Lowry and DeRozan pair in the backcourt. Anunoby the 3 with Ibaka playing the 4. And it's Valanciunas in at the 5, roaming the paint. On defense, the Timberwolves. 4-point game. This, their first look at this year's Toronto squad.
Yeah, interconference matchup. Two teams that'll see each other only twice on the schedule.
Yeah, and Greg, this is a big game for both teams. I mean, they don't see each other often, and you know they both want to get a win in this one.
Here's Lowry after the made shot from Karl Anthony Towns. They set the pick. Ibaka with a screen on Teague. Ball's knocked loose. Here's Towns, and the dunk by Towns.
You know what makes Towns so dangerous in transition? He can beat you with the shot, or he can beat you at the rim.
Towns has gotten everything to drop so far, shooting 4 of 4 to the left wing. Lowry drawing the double team. Butler with the steal. All going up court. And that one's good. Wiggins. And a breakdown here, guys. The hustle stats for the Timberwolves.
Boy, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end, guys, and have piled up the steals in the early going.
And also, how about the fact defensively they're getting that backboard and getting out in transition, especially in this first half.
Here's DeRozan following the basket by Andrew Wiggins. Anunoby, good.
And, guys, this is what you like to see early on, gaining a little confidence from range.
Yeah, and you know it, Greg. Oftentimes you get that first one to drop and your confidence rises like yeast. It's good to get into a rhythm at the start of the game, no doubt.
Ibaka, wide open, he fires. That's in, coming off an assist from Lowry. Ibaka's got himself on the board with 3 there. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. It's on Jonas Valanciunas.
A decent free throw shooter is Wiggins, trying to become more than that, though, given how often he gets himself to the line.
The Timberwolves shooting their first free throws of the game.
And really, the form at the line all season has been terrific, 79% as a team.
One of the things they've done, guys, is taken pride in their free throw shooting this season, and rightfully so.
Free throw good, Wiggins. And with Andrew Wiggins, you know he can be deadly from mid-range, but he's seen an uptick in scoring, Clark, because he's been focusing on all the little things you need to master as a perimeter wing threat.
Yeah, you're exactly right. He has been focusing on those intangible, those small things that are big things in making a difference in how efficient you are on offense. He's improved his play running the pick and roll every year. He's excellent in transition and off cuts, and has really worked on becoming a better finisher off the screen and roll handoff.
He can't get that one to fall. And Toronto will go the other way with it. Their last game, a win against San Antonio, looking to carry that into this one.
And how about the defensive adjustments in that one? Their communication was brilliant all night.
Yeah, I agree. And communication is effort, and effort is communication. Very talkative out there, yelling out screens, giving each other help. Boy, that was a terrific all-around effort.
Here's DeRozan following the basket by Andrew Wiggins. Out to the right wing. Here's Anunoby. Offensive rebound. Ibaka. Dishes to Lowry. Got a piece of it, and the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Wiggins. And let's take a second to view a list of shooting guards who have been very dependable offensively this season. These 2 guards are the most accurate in the league. 5th best, DeMar DeRozan.
You know, just ask this group. Sometimes when you're hot, you're hot. And it's a comforting feeling for a coach to know you've got one of those guys roaming on the perimeter.
And not only can they light it up from the perimeter, Greg, but they get their buckets getting to the rim as well. I mean, aggressive moves to the basket are always going to help your shooting percentage. You got to get some easy ones to shoot a high percentage.
And they've done a nice job controlling the defensive backboard to start this game.
Not one second chance bucket allowed. That is finishing off good defense.
Rumors about Butler being traded from Chicago were circulating last season. Draft day comes around, and the Minnesota Timberwolves made their move, Greg, to acquire him.
Yeah, and the more you look at it, the trade looks great for Butler and the Wolves. Reunites him with Coach Thibodeau, joins an incredibly young core in Towns and Wiggins, and the sky's the limit, I think, for this young Wolves team.
And Butler emerging as a leader both on and off the floor, a player who plays with great passion and goes all out for his team all the time.
Now here is Lowry. Boy, he was something else against San Antonio. Anunoby passes to Lowry. The feed to DeRozan. From outside, off the mark. Minnesota leading by 8. Here's Wiggins, and Wiggins throws it down.
Fruitful possession, just doing what they can to extend the lead.
Yeah, that's tremendous efficiency there. I mean, you like seeing them put together these types of plays.
So it's Toronto now. After the basket by Minnesota. Drops in the tray. Anunoby's got 6.
Kevin, it's nice to see Lowry dish the rock. I mean, I enjoy watching him pass the ball because he's got a nice feel for when to get it to his guys for an open shot.
They've wasted no time settling into their offense.
Yeah, they're lasered in. I mean, really making the most of their possessions.
And the shot will not go from Anunoby. Here's Towns. 6 for 6. He's yet to miss from the field.
You know, for a guy with Towns' size, I mean, to have this level of body control, tell you what, it's no wonder the contact didn't bother the shot.
So, timeout called here, the first for Toronto. Well, Towns does so many things on the floor, already an elite post scorer. But, Greg, one area that he has struggled with at times is his defense against other bigs.
And I think he'll continue to improve in that area. What happens with young guys, though, is oftentimes you're improved how good I am mode when you're young, and you lose sight of some of the things that help you win games. And I think that's one reason why he had one of the worst defensive RPMs in the entire league. But young bigs tend to take a bit longer to develop into great defenders, and I expect he will follow in that line. Let's review some numbers for Karl Anthony Towns. 5th in rebounding, 7th in blocks, and with a top 20 ranking in field goal percentage, you put the ball in his hands and he converts at a remarkable rate.
And he's so explosive, so hungry. You really can't keep him off the glass when he wants to get there. That's why he's top 5 in rebounding. And there's the call on Karl Anthony Towns. That's his first foul. And Ibaka kicks to DeRozan. He dishes it to Lowry. A three-pointer is right on target. Lowry's got 5 points so far.
And he isn't shy. Lowry assertive with the ball in his hand.
And that one's good. Wiggins.
And from the opening tip, they just crushed it. You see it now on the scoreboard.
Clearly in great rhythm. They've got it going on. I mean, in a big way. Excellent job at establishing a huge lead early on.
Drains the three-pointer. Anunoby's got his 3rd basket of the night right there.
Man, the triples keep falling, guys. That's 3 in a row.
I think they're playing too soft on the perimeter. They can't stay so soft. They've got to get up into the shooters here.
And he can do a lot more damage to the rim than that when he wants to.
Oh, you're right. With the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one.
Well, I think he did plenty of damage nonetheless. I mean, it was only with one hand, but he still threw that down pretty hard.
Now, here is Lowry after the miss from Karl Anthony Towns. And there's the call on Karl Anthony Towns. That's foul number 2 for him. On defense, the Timberwolves. They have a 9-point lead. Outside Lowry. Down low. Here's Valanciunas. That falls. Nice feed that time from Kyle Lowry.
And he's pretty relentless inside. Valanciunas gets after it down low. It might not always look pretty, but he makes the most of his chances in the paint.
Nice pass that time. What excellent vision by Jeff Teague out there.
Here's DeRozan following the bucket by the Timberwolves. Pass to Lowry. And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession. And a look now at the 4 areas where shots can come from. The paint, mid-range, and shots from deep, all broken down for Minnesota.
And the corner 3 has not been their shot of choice here tonight. And I think a big reason for that has been the defensive setup. They came in focused on taking away the short-range triple.
Timberwolves leading by 9. Butler attacking, shoots over DeRozan. Butler, no good. The Raptors have gone 7 of 12 from the field here in the first quarter. DeRozan with it. Butler covering, and it's out of bounds. The Raptors able to retain possession here. We're out halfway through the season and a chance here to recap where all the teams in the West sit in the standings. Taking a look at Golden State, earning the first place position with a terrific record. And we've seen them perform splendidly pretty much all season long so far, and they're definitely the team to beat. And, of course, the Timberwolves, 3 spots below.
And I think for Minnesota, they were a team that no one knew quite what to make of entering the season. But as the years gone on, it's become clear they're legit contenders.
Abundantly clear. I mean, they can compete with any team in the league, and I think they still have some upside, room for improvement.
Methodical in their approach. They have absolutely owned this first quarter.
And I tell you what, Greg, they've worked hard for this lead. Their play calling has been superb, and the execution even better.
I love the complementary aspect of this group now. You know, you've got the young talent, but you've brought in some veteran leadership here for the Timberwolves. The duo of Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns kind of gave the confidence to them to go out and acquire a superstar in his prime like Jimmy Butler. And you can't help but pick their defense apart. They're completely in disarray.
Well, everything's coming too easily. I mean, at some point defensively, you have to take something away.
Wiggins inside the line. Serge Ibaka with the rebound. And, Greg, the core of this Timberwolves team is Wiggins and Towns. And, you know, rarely do you get to see 2 #1 overall picks team up early in their careers.
And how about back-to-back years, no less. But I consider Jimmy Butler kind of a foundational piece as well. He's in the conversation for the best shooting guard in our league.
Here's what Minnesota's going with right now. Bjelica, he checks in for Gibson. Shabazz Muhammad comes in for Wiggins. Jamal Crawford, he's checked in for Jimmy Butler. And Tyus Jones subbed in for Jeff Teague. Clark, you were a fantastic rebounder your entire career. What do you feel gave you the edge over the other players on the glass?
You know, one of my fellow Buckeye greats, actually the greatest Buckeye of all time in basketball, I think, was Jerry Lucas. And he talked an awful lot about rebounding being more about timing and pursuit of the ball than anything else. And I had a good gift of timing, and I clearly was chasing down that pumpkin as well as most. And those were the things that allowed me to be a good rebounder, good timing, good hands, and pursuit of the basketball. It wasn't complicated, but some of it was giftedness. The other part was persistence and hard work.
Let's now go to the 2K leaderboard to look at the teams that specialize in intimidation. Here are the real stats, real scores from the real NBA. The Raptors in second.
I mean, terrific rim protection. I mean, they rotate and help on the inside as well as anybody. And, of course, you want to keep offenses on the outside shooting jump shots, and that continues to be the goal.
Pass to Bjelica. It's good. He makes his first shot of the game.
They're doing a really good job of getting the ball inside and attacking the paint. That's an area they have completely dominated.
Well, once they recognized the advantage they had inside, it made a lot of sense just to continue to attack that area.
So it's Toronto now, after the basket by Minnesota. It's Miles on the wing. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Minnesota leading by 9. Here's Muhammad. Nogueira pulls it in.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Exactly. Can't play it any better than that, Greg.
And the wide open shot from Miles. Miles with another miss. Now the Timberwolves with it. Here's Jang. And good work on the boards. They pick up the second chance points. Jang's got his second bucket of the night.
And, you know, we all know about Jang's high motor. Defensively, you can't just let him float around the glass. You've got to get a body on him.
Kicks to Miles. In the corner, Wright with it. Nogueira gets a screen for Wright. In the corner, Powell with it. Offensive rebound. Nogueira with the bucket.
The tenacity on the interior, just battling, bringing that effort and will to the second chance point. In this first period, they've been aggressive and extremely focused.
Yeah, this is a big lead right now, a big one, and they've seized momentum and showing no signs of letting it go.
And Wright kicks to Powell. To the middle, Nogueira. And the dunk by Nogueira.
He just punched the ticket on that one. That'll get the job done.
Powerful two-hand jam.
I tell you what, if he's got a few more of those in him, this lead will really start shrinking.
Now, here's Miles. He gives his team some nice contributions, averaging a bit over 10 points a game.
Not a lot going his way. Everything he's shooting is just off the mark. I mean, somehow he's got to figure out a way to turn it around.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And when you make 5 in a row in close like that, it also takes pressure off your perimeter guys, too.
Miles with it. Muhammad covering. And so the ball is out of bounds. Miles touched it last.
And let's take a look at some numbers for Wright. He's averaging 8 points, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds. And you look at those numbers, not bad. But, guys, I think he can do better, and he knows it.
And he has high expectations for himself as well, guys, but he just hasn't delivered fully on his potential yet.
That one good for 2. Jang's got 8 points.
Though Jang has developed a pretty good outside shot, this is where you want him operating, in the painted area.
Powell kicks to Nogueira. Rebounded by the Timberwolves. Crawford outside. And he banks in the layup.
The tenacity, the attention to detail, it's why these guys are in complete control.
And you know what, Greg? They are crushing it on both ends. I mean, in total control right now.
Here's Wright, following the score by Jamal Crawford. And he's good on the 3-ball.
And you can see there the defender gets caught up on the pick.
I think he's got to be more aggressive, stronger, getting through those screens. Can't allow shooters that kind of space to pull the trigger.
Now here's Wright. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. And now Minnesota on the fast break. Jang with the ball. Now defended by Nogueira.
Kevin, he's been flat out phenomenal, superb, scintillating this quarter. He's carving them up, knocking down everything.
27 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Wright sets a screen. Powell dishes to Wright to the inside. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. The Raptors shooting their first free throws here for the night.
And how about as a group, 80% on the season, one of their best attributes.
Yeah, guys, they can feel very good about themselves when you bring up those statistics. Impressive numbers.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
First one falls for him. The Raptors making a switch here. And he can't hit the second. Timberwolves leading by 13. Here's Muhammad. Another shot. And the layup is up and in. Miles has got 6.
Defensive rebounding, just such a crucial part of the game.
Yeah, it's finishing your defense, Greg. We know that. You can defend, then you got to rebound the miss. And you got to get to the glass with intensity.
For Toronto, they have shot 2 free throws, and they're 1 of 2 so far.
Shooting 2.
The free throw drops for Powell. He hits both from the stripe. Outside, Jones. And it's good, but hold on. The officials may want to look at that one on the replay monitor. And indeed, they're going to look at it again. They need to be certain he beat the buzzer.
And a chance here to just double-check the ruling on the floor. I wasn't sure if he got it off in time or not, so I appreciate the second look as well.
And you know what? We're watching exactly what the officials are seeing, Greg, from the NBA Replay Center in Secaucus. We've got the time right here, so they're making sure they got it right.
And it looks like they got it right this time. No basket. The clock had expired while the ball was still in his hands.
And even if they don't show it, I know the refs are proud of themselves after a replay proves them right. They're like, see, we had it right all along. So good call, fellas.
And so it's Minnesota looking at a 13-point lead heading into the next quarter. They've got their field goal percentage to thank for that. They've been hot from all over the floor tonight. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. And Serge Ibaka, known for his shooting ability now, he talked about the confidence his teammates and his coach instilled in him.
He trusts you. Every time he passes the ball, when you don't shoot, he's screaming you, shoot ball. Then next time what? You will shoot. And if you miss, you say, yeah, good shot. You know, and your coaches in the practice talking to your teammates. Man, when Serge is open, give him the ball. He will make that shot.
Well, if you wonder how much difference a coach can make for a player, there it is. Huh?
You heard it in Serge's voice, too. That confidence has already been planted in him. That voice telling him, shoot the ball, is now in his own head. He's going to be just fine.
Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start this second quarter. And, guys, we've seen a confident-looking Timberwolves team out there.
Getting high percentage looks, wearing down that defense on the inside.
Grinding away down low, man, just filing them down. Love the bully ball method. Paying off well.
So the Raptors 5 right now. They've got C.J. Miles. Pirtle is out there with Norman Powell. And it's Siakam in at the 4. From the baseline. And he nails the jumper. Crawford's got the opening basket here in the second quarter for Minnesota.
Always enjoy solid, good passing. Easily setting up his teammate. Does not get any easier than that.
Powell, the pass to Siakam. From past the arc. The shot by Powell, no good. Minnesota leading by 15. From deep. Jang, no luck.
And truth is, though he misses that one, it's a shot he normally makes.
You're exactly right, Greg. That's certainly in his range. Forget about the miss and get ready for the next one.
Siakam, good.
And that's the kind of lead pass we've come to expect from him.
And out of bounds as the Raptors gain possession. And you look at the Raptors, one of the top teams in the East, Greg, but do they have a chance to go all the way?
I think they're a threat to make the finals. Can they win it all? They may be a piece or two away, but still a young and aggressive core. They continue to try to add pieces, and this is a group that has proven they want to win and win now.
Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Watch out now. And, you know, in this example of changing ends of the floor, this is where you can see the improvements in Muhammad's diet and conditioning really coming to the fore.
And that replay presented by Under Armour showing us the fantastic steal that led to that fast break finish. Another Unleash Chaos moment. Powell with it, and Crawford picks him up defensively. And that's out of bounds. Toronto will retain possession. Let's go to the 2K leaderboard for the real stats, real scores from the real NBA. Here are the team leaders in steals. You need to play these guys heads up. In the third spot, the Timberwolves.
You can't get careless with the basketball against this group. I mean, they'll pick your pocket, and no surprise to see them in the upper echelon as far as steals.
Has not made another three since the one he drilled in the first, but still, you got to defend him from beyond the arc. There you go. Relentless pursuit of the ball. I love it. He never stopped working.
Raptors trail by 17. The dish to Powell. Bubbled by Crawford. And the pass to Anunoby. And it's Bjelica with the foul. That's foul number 2 for him.
Aggressiveness is fine, but you can't be this over-aggressive. I think he's got to dial it back some. They need him on the floor.
Here's what Minnesota's going with right now. Wiggins is checked in for Shabazz Muhammad. Jimmy Butler comes in for Jamal Crawford. And it's Teague in for Tyus Jones. And the Raptors also making a change. Jonas Valanciunas, he's checked in for C.J. Miles. Anunoby tips it. It's rebounded by Towns. Minnesota leading by 17. Bielitsa with the bucket.
Again and again, they're dissecting the defense and creating those high-percentage looks from inside.
And even under pressure and close, I think they've still done a good job maintaining concentration and converting the opportunities.
And the Raptors call time here. Now, Clark, we know one thing. You are a connoisseur of scoring in the post. Which players, in your opinion, do you love to watch go to work on the block?
I tell you, DeMarcus Cousins is really good down there. He's got all of the tricks, and he's got size and great footwork, pretty decent athleticism as well. Karl Anthony Towns, very proficient. But again, I go back to my man, Zach Randolph. I mean, he's close to the ground. He's a lefty. And Zebo just gets it done in a way that I enjoy.
Taj Gibson's checked in for Bielitsa. DeMar DeRozan, he's checked in for the Raptors. Toronto with the ball, trailing by 19. Passes it to Van Vliet. Here's Anunoby, covered by Wiggins. Shot clock at 5, and Gibson over to help. Here's Van Vliet. And again, no good by Toronto.
All the time in the world to get that one off.
Towns with it. Now Valanciunas defending, and there's another one for the Timberwolves.
And the jump shot has been a dimension of this game where they've had a clear advantage.
Greg, they keep pulling up and watching them go down. It's a really nice thing to see.
And there's the call on Karl Anthony Towns. That's his third foul of the game. The Raptors making a switch here. Just under 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter. Good ball movement here by the Raptors. Here's Anunoby. A tad short, but it's good off the front iron. Anunoby's got 11. Timberwolves leading by 19. A baseline J. Valanciunas grabs the board. DeRozan against Butler. Poked away and stolen by Butler. Fast break, Minnesota. It's good for his second make. He's made 2 or 3 so far.
Blazing speed on display from Butler. Superb at finding a way to get behind the defense in transition and taking what he gets.
Here's DeRozan, and finished off by DeRozan.
You've got to love his aggressiveness to finish inside.
Well, his leaping ability gives him a great advantage.
Fellas, that's exactly why they look to get him the ball around the rim. I mean, it's either a dunk or free throws every time.
The Timberwolves shooting their 4th attempt at the free throw line right here.
One shot.
That's good from Gibson. And Greg, you wouldn't expect it from a Coach Thibodeau team, but defense was an issue for the Timberwolves last year.
And the Wolves brought in Butler to help with offense, but more importantly, his defense. And Butler, familiar with what Thibs likes to do on both ends of the floor, has the leadership the team needs, particularly on the defensive end.
Here's Anunoby, and he didn't get quite enough under that one. Minnesota with the ball. They're on a 15-6 run.
Looking at the Timberwolves, let's see where they rank in the NBA statistics right now.
And you got to love how well they safeguard their offensive possessions. You see the ranking, second fewest turnovers committed, terrific ball handling, and smart passing.
He's off on the first.
Hey, and you know, when you're the #1 overall pick, there's some pressure that comes with that stature, and Wiggins had a lot of pressure on him because of that. Has responded well, though, and I think stardom is in this guy's future. I mean, you look at his overall game and how he's developing, a really good threat on offense, and I think he's got a chance to be all NBA defense at some point.
And he sinks the second. And just thinking about the maturing of Wiggins' game and how he's developed, Clark, he's shown that he can carry an offense as a perimeter player. Few can do that at his age.
Yeah, and he was able to do that in part because he was forced to. When Levine went down last season with an injury, stepped up his scoring, and I think he's only going to get better as he gets older.
And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Towns. And now a chance to take a look at the shot chart for the Timberwolves.
Right now, after looking at that chart, you pretty much can just jog down the court. He gets it in the paint. Just time and time again, he's worked his way in close and made a shot over a defender or found another way to convert. Just great stuff coming from him thus far.
Here is Lowry. He has 5. Ibaka drawing the double team. Teague against Lowry. From outside the arc, the putback, it's good on the putback.
Oh, great timing. He is one tough customer on that offensive glass.
You know, it's like he has a sixth sense of where that rebound is going.
And that sixth sense, guys, might be better than just about anybody else's.
Outside DeRozan. Dishes to Ibaka. Pass to Anunoby. Jacks up a 3. Rebound, Minnesota. Towns has got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight.
3 triples in the first quarter, but he's yet to knock one down here in the second.
Yep, another one from Towns. There's no limit to what he can score when he's in this kind of rhythm.
And DeRozan kicks to Ibaka. And the 3 off target. They've been doing a great job of sharing the ball.
And guys, shot A comes to mind for me because right now that offense, it's a smooth operator.
The Raptors shooting in the second quarter has been pretty embarrassing, just 27%. And there's the foul. It goes on Taj Gibson. That's his first foul. And Clark, we've heard the term empty stats for players that put up big numbers but didn't impact the game to the same level of those numbers. What do you think about empty stats?
I'm mixed on empty stats. Clearly some stats impact winning more than others, but in this day of analytics, some of the stats that apparently document impacting winning may be overdone as well. Statistics are statistics. They're part of the game, and you evaluate them in the context of a number of variables. So they're here to stay. Empty is probably too strong because they're part of the game.
And stolen by Wiggins. And here we go. Towns heading to the hoop. Oh, and the jam by Towns.
The steal, then right into the fast break. Towns with excellent awareness for his age. Very mature player despite being a young buck.
DeRozan with it. He's got 5. To the middle. It's deflected. Gibson with the steal. Goes up. And the dunk by Towns.
Yeah, you know, not every point guard will be able to find an open man right there, but Teague is always looking for the right play.
The Raptors shooting has been wayward so far. Only 37% from the floor. Here's DeRozan, and he's fouled on the shot. 1 free throw coming up.
They did a better job of getting it inside in that first. They've lost some of that physical edge here. And really, DeMar DeRozan is a master at what he calls body hunting, that ability to just kind of draw fouls. I think he and James Harden actually are the guys that have really kind of set the tone for how to create those opportunities to get to the line.
One shot.
And DeMar DeRozan, always, Greg, among the league leaders in free throw attempts.
And when you look at him, 6'7", 220 pounds with tremendous athleticism, he has got all the tools. Beyond, though, that attack mentality, he's a savvy basketball player. Those little shot fakes, his footwork help this guy live at the line.
And it's Wright missing.
Rare you'll see him miss such an open look.
They get it again. Towns, right through the D for the layup. Towns has got 26.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
And what I like about it, Greg, it's been a physical brand of basketball. It's had a little sandpaper element to it. Gritty and rough, but that's how you win games.
Toronto shooting a measly 26% in the second quarter. Feeds to Ibaka. Lets it go from deep. Rebound by Butler. Minnesota's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. Here's Towns. Here's Gibson. Up and in. Off to an efficient start. 2 for 3 from the field.
That makes it 10 of their last 12 coming from inside the paint.
Lowry kicks to Ibaka. Toronto working the ball around now. DeRozan with it. Now defended by Wiggins. And pushing it up again is Minnesota. Again in transition. And there's the basket. Whistle blows and a chance for a three-point play. Going to the line for one.
No hesitation at all in transition, and they have a huge margin in that department.
Fast breaks yield easy buckets, guys. They've made the most of their chances in that regard. The defense not able to get set. You get a running start to the rim, you should get a good number of scoring chances that way.
Minnesota making a switch here. Zhang's checked in. Siakam is checked in for the Raptors.
One shot behind the lanes.
Clark, a lot of former players had a specific instance when they knew they were special, the way they played the game of basketball. Did you ever have a moment like that where you realized that you could make it as a player?
Yeah, there was a time when that became more realistic to me, Kevin. And I grew up in Cleveland, and during the summers, a lot of the Cleveland Cavaliers would stay in the area and play pickup basketball to stay in shape. And I got a chance to bump heads with a lot of those guys, Jim Jones and the late Terry Furlow, Austin Carr, Bingo Smith, Mike Mitchell. And I was only 15, 16 years old, and while those guys were going at half speed, it gave me the encouragement that I might be able to get to where they were if I continued to work hard and stay healthy. So at 15 or 16, during one of those summers, I began to realize that I might have a chance to realize the dream of being an NBA.
Left side Lowry. Good. And it's DeRozan picking up the assists. DeRozan's got 3 assists in the game. Here's Butler. The shot, no good. Now Toronto takes it the other way. After this game wraps up, they're off to Atlanta where they'll take on the Hawks. That will conclude their brief 2-game road trip.
You two players.
And the Timberwolves with possession here. Minnesota's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. He feeds it to Zhang. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in. Zhang's got 12 in the game.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Well, listless and lifeless at the defensive end. I mean, especially inside. They've really got to pick up that interior defense.
And Kevin, they started the game shooting it so well. I'm surprised they haven't continued. They've got to get back to their strength.
Yeah, I mean, test the hot hand. You're exactly right. I say let those triples fly.
Lowry dishes to DeRozan. And they double up DeRozan, and stolen by Zhang. And here we go. Teague heading to the hoop. Ball's knocked loose, and so it looks like the Timberwolves will retain possession here. Now that we have a second, take a look at the teams that have scored the most points off turnovers over the last 10 games. The Timberwolves second.
Just a terrific job over this stretch of forcing turnovers and capitalizing. They'd love to continue that trend.
Here's what Minnesota's going with right now. Shabazz Muhammad's checked in for Wiggins. Crawford comes in for Jimmy Butler. And Tyus Jones subbed in for Teague. Jang, no luck.
That's smothering defense. Chicken and gravy defense, not giving him an inch there. That's how you guard the inside. Yes, sir.
Bielitsa, he's checked in for Minnesota. And the Raptors also making a change. Norman Powell's checked in for DeMar DeRozan. They set the screen. Now here's Powell, guarded by Crawford. The shot by Powell, no good.
+8 in the rebound differential. One more reason why they're in control.
Yeah, double-digit advantage on the scoreboard. They've taken the initiative. They've played, I think, with more purpose so far.
And in today's game, we're really so used to thinking of passing as the key to an efficient offense. But this Raptors club, they do it a different way. For them, the screen is the assist, giving their guards space to pull up or attack the rim.
Two shots. Relax on the first.
And he makes the first. And the Raptors for the last few seasons, Greg, right at the bottom of the league in assists.
Yeah, but nevertheless, they do make good decisions. They're a low turnover team, and they've been pretty efficient offensively. One area where you can offset that is by their ability to get to the free throw line, because that puts a lot of pressure on your defense with their ability to attack.
So he picks up just one from the line that time. And the Raptors, unique in the NBA, they have a whole nation behind them.
And basketball continues to gain in popularity, especially with the younger generation in Canada. The Raptors are coming to relevance at the perfect time, and the rabid fan base energized by how competitive this group's been the last couple seasons.
From deep, Miles. Rebound by Jang. Jang's got his 8th rebound here tonight. Launches it. Rebounds now in the game. From deep, Miles. It's been all about Karl Anthony Towns for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Scoring, rebounding, he was all over the place during that quarter. They are riding his performance right now. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. With Karl Anthony Towns. Karl, you got some scoring going in that first half. What did you take advantage of?
I'm just finding spots, not chasing it, letting it come to me. Just using what my teammates give me.
Productive half so far, Karl Anthony. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David, for that interview, and we'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. What a start it was for Karl Anthony Towns. He ended up with 26 points, 3 assists, and 7 rebounds. And Kenny, what did you see out there from the Timberwolves?
There's so many things you could say about the development of Karl Anthony Towns. Just as accurate from the outside as he is in the post. Defends on the perimeter and the rim.
Shaq, what was your takeaway on Toronto?
Well, they gave up too many good looks. You look at the field goal percentage against them, this tells the whole story. Not enough activity defensively, not enough disruption, Ernie. Like Kenny disrupts me all the time, not enough disruption.
And that's all we can do for now. As the second half begins, we get you back to Kevin Harlan.
We come back to Minnesota now with a striking look at the 10th Avenue Bridge, downtown Minneapolis, off in the distance. And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but you know, anything can happen. Karl Anthony Towns has been sensational.
And I loved in that first half that they were patient, looked for good shots, and knocked them down.
Yeah, I liked how they took the initiative. They were really locked into what they wanted, not letting the defense dictate their shot selection.
And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. Teague runs the point with Butler at his side. They're the backcourt. Wiggins at small forward with Gibson at the 4. And it's Towns in at the center filling out the middle. So that's the lineup for Minnesota. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
All right, a chance to check out stats for Lowry. Over the last month, getting it done. 14th in steals, and he's in the top 20 in assists per game. His talent for creating easy buckets for his teammates, such an asset.
As we've seen, he's a difficult defender to bring the ball up against. Quick feet, quick hands, always looking to force a mistake. Free throw good, Wiggins. That one is no good. And Valanciunas out of Lithuania, the 5th overall pick back in 2011.
Yeah, he's still quite young. You know, a lot of talent offensively.
And guys, the defensive Teague is underrated. Excellent instincts, and he takes reasonable chances on defense.
That was a great angle we just saw, courtesy of Under Armour. Another unleash chaos moment. They double him with Wiggins. Here's DeRozan. And that one hits back iron.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that one.
Here's Butler. On target from 13 feet. Butler's got 9 points.
You know, guys, fast break points right now in their favor, and they're really pushing the tempo.
And, Greg, defensively, you got to have better floor balance and commitment to hustling back. I mean, you got to sprint back. You can't jog back.
Back to Lowry. Takes the 3. Rebounded by the Timberwolves. Towns has got rebound number 8 here tonight in the game. Gibson in the post. Defended by Ibaka. And he gets the bucket.
And they're forcing the ball inside, and it's working like a charm.
They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
To stop the run. Good. And it's DeRozan picking up the assists. And that's now 6 points for Serge Ibaka. Here's Towns. That one misses. Some solid defense from Ibaka. Here's Anunoby. No good on the 3.
They're in a hurry. I think, Kevin, they're rushing things a little bit to begin the half. Nothing pretty about this 1-for-4 start.
Oh, reversed it home. That was pretty.
Agreed. The agility on display.
Yes, sir. Power and grace. That had it all.
Here's Valanciunas. And Ibaka slams it in.
Yeah, and the ability to generate points off offensive rebounds, something Ibaka did a lot earlier in his career before he started spending so much time on the perimeter.
Second half of play with just under 2.5 minutes gone. And here's DeRozan. He's got 8. Lowry has the open look. No good with the triple.
Tell you what, Kevin, it would be helpful if he would start to contribute a little more on offense, because when he's missing, it makes it really hard for this team.
That one falls. He's got 9.
And this has been a great job of just getting into the middle of that defense and really scoring effectively from the paint.
Screened by Valanciunas. Here's DeRozan. Loses the defender with the screen and drills the jumper. DeRozan's got 10 points in the game. Here's Gibson, and it's Gibson finishing it off.
Just a great job there from Teague to locate where his teammate was and get the ball to him on time.
The Raptors have gone 3 of 8 so far in the third quarter, looking to lock in that rhythm. Screened by Valanciunas. Here's Anunoby, covered by Wiggins. Back to Lowry. Launches a three. Hits it from three-point range.
And really, the defense didn't do a lot to fight around that screen on that possession.
And so it looks like the Timberwolves will retain possession here.
So close to getting the steal there, but the deflection equally as effective.
Yeah, refusing to give up anything easy. Solid defense, and I like that attitude.
Here's Towns. An easy 2 points on the layup. Towns has got 4 points now in the quarter.
I'll tell you, he's beating up the defense in this quarter, going right at him and scoring in a variety of ways.
Valanciunas with a screen on Teague. Here's Lowry, and the shot is long. For Minnesota, they've gotten 8 of their 11 shots to drop since the break. A great third quarter for them offensively.
Guys, they're just getting outworked. I mean, plain and simple. It's got to be more of a collective effort to secure that backboard.
Yeah, and when you take a look at the stat sheet, they've got to do something to cut down on these second chance points. Box out and get to the defensive board.
By himself. Oh, and the jam by Butler.
Dunking is easy for Jimmy Butler. He's an athlete, he's got good size, and he knows how to use that vertical of his to throw it down.
Toronto's gone 2 of 5 with the three-point shot since coming out of the break. DeRozan passes to Ibaka. Ibaka drawing the double team. 6 to shoot. Lowry from outside. He gets that one to drop. He's now 5 of 12.
Yeah, there's 6 points on consecutive 3 balls. They're finding holes now in the D.
And that one's good. Wiggins.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
Really a prime example of the difference in how these teams have operated offensively. Much more individual play at the other end.
Out of bounds, Minnesota takes possession.
You know, that's not how you distribute the ball. Needs to be more focused when making passes like that.
Pirtle, he's checked in for Valanciunas. The Timberwolves shooting wonderfully up to this point, 67%. Here's Towns. It's not going to go for him. Good work defensively by Ibaka. The Raptors have gone just a bit under 50% from the field since halftime, 5 out of 11. Lowry kicks to DeRozan. That's in, coming off an assist from Lowry. Lowry's got 6 assists here tonight.
And that's what makes Lowry a great floor leader. Just unselfish in his attitude and great awareness of how to keep his teammates involved.
DeRozan dishes to Lowry. Screen by Ibaka. Pirtle, the pass to Ibaka. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2.
And Serge Ibaka, remember, it was a first-team all-defense selection. But over time, I think he's become more of a scoring-minded player, and I think that's affected his impact defensively.
And Serge Ibaka, the league leader in block shots for 2 years in a row in 2012 and 13, but he sends them back at about half the rate he once did.
Yeah, but even still, pretty good shot blocker. You add in his finishing and outside shooting, and he's a player to be reckoned with.
Shooting 2, gentlemen.
That free throw, no good.
One of the best free throw shooting bigs in the league, but that wasn't always the case for Ibaka. He has put in a ton of work.
And Toronto making a change here. White's checked in. So neither attempt will fall that time for him. And the Timberwolves with possession here. After this one, they take on the Clippers at the Staples Center. That one will start off a 3-game road trip for the team.
And I think they're winning because of him. I mean, he's hitting a lot of his shots right now.
Anunoby passes to Pirtle. It's stolen by Teague. Now here's Towns. He's covered closely. Yep, that one goes. Towns has got 8 points here in this quarter. And what's your take, guys, on the hustle stats for the Timberwolves?
Boy, their hounding, harassing effort at the defensive end, very impressive. And they forced quite a few turnovers as a result.
Yeah, and also the way they've been able to generate points off of the turnovers that they forced tonight has also helped.
There's the great length we're always talking about with Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, leaving no doubt about that one.
The Raptors have gotten 6 of their 12 shots to drop for him here in the second half so far. There's a good screen, and there's the call on Karl Anthony Towns. That's his 4th foul of the contest.
And that's his 4th, and no doubt he would have liked to have not gotten it this soon.
Minnesota making some changes. Jang, he's checked in for Towns. Bielitsa comes in for Taj Gibson. And it's Crawford in for Jimmy Butler. And the Raptors also making a change. Miles is checked in. Teague on the double team. 4 on the shot clock. Wright with it. Picked up by Teague. And there's the foul. It goes on Serge Ibaka. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game. Shabazz Muhammad's checked in for the Timberwolves. Tyus Jones comes in for Teague. Minnesota shooting has been brilliant in this game, 67% from the floor. Here's Jones. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in.
And when it rains, it pours. Another jump shot tickles the twine.
Pass to Van Vliet. A floater, and that's 2 points on the layup.
Oh, perfect timing there to knock down the teardrop.
Here's Muhammad. Got a hand on it, but he recovers it. Goes back up. That's good on the jump shot. Muhammad's got 5 now.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Yeah, rebounding has been a big key in this one, Greg. They've asserted their will and have taken control on the glass.
And Miles kicks to Van Vliet. Raptors moving the ball around. Siakam misses.
A good interior D there prevents the deuce.
And, you know, that's not easy at all. When guys get this close to the bucket, it's tough to stop the basket.
Indicative of what we've seen tonight. One team being the aggressor, the other failing to react.
Yeah, and you can tell they feel like they can get inside whenever they want to. I mean, it's been carte blanche, full menu for them, and the defense really not offering any resistance.
Jones, no luck. Toronto's gone 3 of 7 from three-point range here in quarter number 3. Miles the pass to Van Vliet. Siakam kicks to Van Vliet. Rebound by Jang. Van Vliet's gone 1 of 3 on the night. Here's Crawford. And it's out of bounds. The Raptors will take it the other way. And here is the shot chart as we see how things are going for Muhammad.
And these sorts of nights can happen. I mean, an extremely rough outing from him in terms of his efficiency. And at this point, the only thing you can hope for is to try to get into some sort of rhythm. Get a couple in a row, try to get to the free throw line, and build some confidence.
The Raptors shooting right around 41% from the field in quarter 3. Van Vliet passes to Siakam. They set the screen. Powell for 3. Gets the three-pointer to fall. 8 points for him.
And when Pirtle sees a guy on his team open, he finds him right away, whipping that pass there directly.
Toronto's gone to the three-point shot 8 times already in the second half and hit 4 of them. Van Vliet kicks to Siakam. And there's the feed to Powell. Knocked away and stolen by Jang. Slides through for his 7th basket in 11 tries.
Going end to end, you see the speed of Jang, but also the ability to finish under control.
Van Vliet kicks to Siakam. It's stolen by Jones. He dishes it to Muhammad. A stupendous finish in traffic. Muhammad's got his 3rd basket of the night.
And defensively, guys, they've been unable to shut down the middle.
Yeah, and they're really getting pummeled on points in the paint here.
Powell dishes to Pirtle. Now here's Powell, guarded by Crawford. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And And now that we have a moment, let's see the best free throw shooting teams in the NBA. The Raptors third.
You know, it's really a team-wide talent. You want to foul to stop layups, but against them, you're not saving much. They'll make you pay time and again.
First free throw is good. Nogueira's checked in for Toronto. And that's good as he hits both of his shots. The Timberwolves shooting 66% right now. This offense getting everything they want out there. And he makes that one. Bielitsa's got 12.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight field goals now, Greg, they've allowed from point-blank range. Can't happen.
Inside, goes up high for the two-handed dunk.
And for a power forward, he can sure get up. I mean, because of that leaping ability, it kind of offsets his height disadvantage.
Tries from 10. And good. Got the English that time as it falls. Zhang's got 4 points this quarter.
The plan of attack is obvious. Get the ball inside and go strong to the rim.
And, Greg, you know, the defense has been very slow to adapt. I mean, that's 10 straight points now inside.
And finished off by Zhang.
Not the most natural ball handler now, but Zhang does get up to momentum quickly on the drive. I mean, it doesn't look pretty or smooth, but it is effective.
Nogueira with it. He's against Zhang, and it's Nogueira missing.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that possession.
Zhang, no luck. Toronto's gone to the three-point shot 8 times already in the second half and hit 4 of them. Tipped away. We've got 22 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. And finished off by Zhang.
Well, mark another one up for Zhang. Has more offensive potential than people gave him credit for coming out of college, proving the naysayers flat wrong.
And the shooting has really been there for him today, but he may have to take it upon himself to continue to carry this team and try and get out of this hole.
When he's got that kind of positioning, he's got to score it. Got to score the ball from there.
And defensively, you have got to extend to their shooters. They have been on fire this half.
Well, you know, the D just hasn't been there for real. I mean, these shooters are getting any perimeter shot they want. It's a bunch of warm-up jump shots out there.
It's been all about Karl Anthony Towns for Minnesota. He got into double digits for the quarter with 10 points total. We'll get right back to the action when we return. Now let's take a listen on head coach Dwayne Casey.
Don't give in to this semi-fast break and get mismatched. We got to sprint back. We don't want to just give in to a mismatch. That's what they want.
And Dwayne Casey extremely focused on what he feels are cracks in their transition D.
Hey, creating space on the fast break. Something every team practices. They not only have to flip from offense to defense faster, they have to communicate much better.
And we welcome you back as we get going here in the fourth quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. On the court for Toronto to start the fourth, we've got Nogueira, also C.J. Miles out there, and it's Van Vliet in at the point guard. They get it back, and the basket by Jones. Jones has got the first field goal of the fourth quarter here for Minnesota.
And the rebound and the follow show you what he is all about. Gritty and determined with a soft touch to match.
Now the pass to Van Vliet. Drains it from beyond the arc.
Yeah, the D with very little pressure on their perimeter shooters. 3 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have been from beyond.
Crawford, he drains the quick shot.
In the mid-range, rarely the hallmark of efficiency in today's NBA, but it is on point tonight.
It sure is, Greg. It might be the strongest aspect of their offense here.
Here's Van Vliet, guarded by Crawford. No good from Valanciunas.
That's what we're talking about in terms of the activity level.
Man. If you're guarding Jang, you know he doesn't mind being challenged. I mean, he's able to convert through physical play. As a matter of fact, the rougher it is, I think the more he likes it.
We're just over a minute and a half now into the fourth. It's tipped. Here's Muhammad. Here's Jang, and finished off by Jang.
And if you're wondering why Jang shoots such a high percentage from the field, look no further than effort.
It's Miles on the wing. The offensive rebound. Nogueira makes the bucket. Now he's got 5 field goals, 5 for 8 in the game.
I'm always appreciative of the aggressive mindset. Get it down in the paint and go to work with confidence.
Jang, the pass to Bielitsa. Drops in the layup for 2. Well, we know just how athletic the NBA has become since its inception. Clark, even from when you play, just how much faster and stronger has the game become?
I would say if we were going to try to put a percentage on it, I think it's grown 60-70% in terms of athleticism. And a lot of it is attributable to the training advances that have been made in sports science and sports medicine and sports performance. And that's benefited and aided the players greatly. And then you have players that have really bought into nutrition and year-round maintenance of their bodies and taking advantage of this technology to enhance performance. And then it becomes a herd mentality. More and more of the guys are doing it, and more of them are benefiting from this enhanced training. So I'd say it's at least 70% better than 30 years ago.
Caboclo kicks to Van Vliet. Passes it to Caboclo. Raptors moving the ball around. Raptors get it back.
And they get it back again. I mean, how many rebounds offensively have they had? Everything's going right for them today. You know, we talk about it all the time, guys. Those second chance buckets, always the result of that extra effort. Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
You know, the defense, Greg, has really been kept off balance because of the outstanding passes. 4 straight field goals have been made off an assist. And he can take over in a nanosecond. I mean, once he catches fire, it's difficult to squelch it.
It's Bielitsa, and he takes that one up and powers it through.
And he just elevates and powers in the one-hander.
Textbook.
I'm glad he didn't go overboard and try to do too much there.
Van Vliet kicks to Miles. Shoots over Muhammad. Tries again. It's blocked. And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Muhammad. The Raptors making a switch here. Lights checked in. Here's Van Vliet. And the Raptors miss again. Timberwolves shooting wonderfully up to this point, 67%. And it's good, 2 points. Jones has got 4 points this quarter.
And not hard to see why they are giving up points on this run. Just too many good looks from in close.
Screened by Valanciunas. Pass to Van Vliet. Shoots the 3. And the foul on Jonas Valanciunas. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far. Hurdle is checked in for Valanciunas. Van Vliet's gone 2 for 7 from the field. Here's Muhammad. And Caboclo pulls it down. Toronto's gotten some tough luck from three-point range. In the fourth quarter, they've hit just 1 of 6 from deep. And it's Wright missing.
And, I have no idea how he missed that one. When there's no defense around, he's usually automatic from there.
Here's Van Vliet. He kicks it to Wright. Here's Van Vliet. 6 on the shot clock. Stolen. And now Jones running the floor all by himself. Finished off the break.
And aggressive defense causing the mistake, then cashing in.
Yeah, that's a momentum changer for sure. You got to like the steal and the finish at the other end. That's the thing, paying that steal off with the finish.
Jumps up. And it's Jones finishing it off.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, I remember GA as an irritant, and this guy, much like Greg, creating havoc out there.
Here's Aldridge. An easy 2 points on the layup.
Nice pass here to set that basket up.
It's been several possessions since they've converted.
And they've got to find a way to change that.
Swiped it away. The Timberwolves another fast break chance here. Finished off the break. Aldridge has got 4 points this quarter.
Moving it around, 8 of their last 10 coming off assists.
And Greg, nothing makes a coach happier than selflessness on the basketball court.
Pirtle's shot is off.
And they've just tried everything to stem the tide here, but nothing seems to work.
Yeah, they can't find anything. They're lost right now. Everything working against them.
Man, have they been effective at getting the ball inside.
I tell you, we're taking a look at some real deficiencies defensively. I mean, they've given up 5 straight good looks in the paint.
They get a hand on it. Here's Caboclo. Muhammad covering. 5 on the clock. A rebound by the Timberwolves.
And out of rhythm offensively, but he continues to work at it.
Yeah, you know what? I think eventually he will find his rhythm because he is off right now, but all it takes is one hoop, and you're back in rhythm.
Clark, we've seen a few active players have their own podcast that they produce throughout the season. You think that's a good idea or a bad idea for them?
Again, I'm ambivalent to that because the landscape is so different now with the social media platforms, and I like the fact that players have a chance to control their narrative, their story, through the different social media platforms, the Players Tribune, podcasts. Now, you have to balance that with your responsibilities and obligations to your team, your teammates, and your franchise. And so that's where it becomes a challenge, managing your time effectively and using it wisely. But clearly, players should have the opportunity to be fully engaged people beyond just playing the game.
Powell, he's checked in for Caboclo. He's off on the second. Guys, we've seen a lot of turnovers in this one.
Yeah, focus, focus, focus. Just make the simple play.
And Wright kicks to Pirtle. The dish now to Powell. And now Jones running the floor all by himself. And it's slammed in by Jones.
And folks, those are hops you just don't see from that one spot every day.
Well, that's why he is such an uncommon talent.
Yep, uncommon and unparalleled. I mean, he makes things happen out there for sure.
Well, you see the struggles he's having getting anything to go.
Yeah, I'm sure he's frustrated, Greg, because nothing is falling right now. But he's going to keep chipping away at it, and that's the attitude. Stay with it.
Right, the pass to Van Vliet. Powell for 3. Hits the three-point bomb. Powell's got 11 points here in just the second half.
They're giving him a little too much space out there. That's his 3rd triple since halftime.
Right with it. Now defended by Muhammad. Such a wide open look. Powell's got 19 points.
And when he gets it going, this is what can happen. They need to think about the double team now.
They get the rebound. Aldridge. And that's good. A nice job in the glass as they pick up 2 on the second effort.
And you can see the second chance points now starting to be a major factor.
Well, I tell you what, offensive rebounding is really an important statistic, maybe undervalued a bit, but those extra possessions really do help.
Nogueira dishes to Pirtle, and count it, and a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Hey, if you're going to foul Pirtle, I mean, get your money's worth. You have to make sure you're really whacking. He's extremely good at finishing through contact.
And the NBA has tinkered with the All-Star voting in recent years. Fans no longer get 100% of the say for the starters. Clark, how do you feel about that change?
I like it. I mean, again, the fans desire to be involved and should have an opportunity to be engaged in the voting because they're so important to the success and popularity of the league. So I like the fans having a piece of the voting. 100% is far too much, so I think the fact that you've got it weighted between fans and those who follow the league closely, along with coaches, is about the right blend to me.
He muscles it in through the contact, and they call the foul. He's on his way to the free throw line.
There's been a change in his game compared to what we saw in the first half. I mean, he's scoring with a lot of confidence now.
One shot.
And that one falls for Muhammad.
You know, Shabazz Muhammad was one of the biggest names in all of high school sports as a senior. He's still trying to find that same kind of buzz and groove at this level.
Good ball movement here by the Raptors. Pirtle's shot is off.
A highlight reel play all the way, just can't connect.
I thought the pass looked good and just came up a skosh short, but I like the initiative and the intention.
Pass to Van Vliet. Kicks to Powell. There's the pass to Van Vliet. Doubled by Aldridge. Out of bounds. Minnesota takes possession. And the Timberwolves making a change here. Crawford's checked in. Timberwolves shooting has been just fantastic, around 65% tonight, getting exactly what they want, when they want it. Aldridge, no good. And for the Raptors, they're shooting a paltry 33% in the fourth. Not a good showing for this offense. Got a piece of it. Jones in the post. Second shot opportunity. A shot's good from Aldridge. Aldridge has got 8 here in the quarter.
And, you know, Aldridge is getting to the point in his career where he's developed a number of moves inside, and good play call there for him.
Powell kicks to Pirtle. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
Love the assist. I mean, he knew exactly where that bounce pass had to be to create that opportunity.
Bielitsa and the NBA has a concerted effort to lower the amount of back-to-back games for the players. Clark, should they stretch out the season even further?
No, the ideal solution, Kevin, would be to reduce the number of games, to cut a month off the season. That would be the way to get to where we need to get to. The season should be 66 to 70 games. It should be spaced out over a 6-month period. And if you cut 12 to 16 games, then you would be able to actually get fewer number of back-to-back. Stretching the season out longer, to me, is not the answer. Reducing the number of games would be the best way to get to the solution. But that toothpaste is out of the tube, and I don't know if we can ever get it back in.
Agreed. That one falls, so he hits both of them. 1:49 left here in the fourth quarter. Van Vliet kicks to Nogueira. Shot from 12. And too long on the shot. So it's Minnesota now. Bielitsa with the bucket.
Yeah, heads-up aggressive play right there. Saw the smaller man on him and took it straight to the basket.
Toronto's shooting has been a little ragged, just 38% from the field. There's 1:26 left here in the fourth quarter. Van Vliet passes to Wright. Here's Nogueira. Good again. He's on tonight, 9 for 13 shooting.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for Minnesota.
As one-sided as it gets today, you know, there were some dominant moments in about every facet of this game for that team.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, it's hard to think of what didn't go right for them. Game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was just on target.
And so taking a look at their record, a nice milestone they'll be picking up tonight. 30 wins on the year now.
And so they'll take the first game of the season series, a team they'll only see twice. They're certainly happy to start it off with a win.
And that next meeting, Greg, will be their second and final game of the season series, being in opposite conferences. So you bet nobody wants to get swept even in a 2-game season series. So I think the next game will be hotly contested.
The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one, it was a dazzling game for Karl Anthony Towns.
Just an outpouring of points from him. Nobody could do much to keep him from dropping it in.
Minnesota calls timeout. What do you think, guys?
And you just have to avoid silly fouls here, guys. Defend with caution, maybe get ready to make some free throws. If they can do that, they'll be looking really good here.
And now a moment to take a look at our Jordan Player of the Game.
Yeah, and his performance has been a jaw-dropper. It must have been feeling great coming into the building tonight, because once he hit the court, it was all working for him. He was in a zone.
2 straight losses coming into this game had them looking for any kind of spark, and he was the one to give it to them with a superb performance off the bench. C.J. Miles, he's checked in for the Raptors. And the first one drops.
Boy, Pirtle is a massive guy, somebody that uses his height exceptionally well to get high-quality looks.
That one falls, so he hits both of them. Minnesota with the ball. Jones from outside. Offensive rebound. He elites and misses.
Has to be disappointing seeing him miss that one, Kevin. I mean, the defense wasn't bad, but still, I think he needs to convert from there.
First one falls for him. And good on the second, so he makes them both. 24 seconds left in the game. Jones from outside. Here's Aldridge. And the rebound paying off as they pick up 2 on the second chance bucket right there.
And giving the fans what they came to see, a spirited performance.
Well, they've got to be pleased with the effort they've seen so far tonight. Everybody pitching in for what looks to be a solid W.
Boy, this final period, they are putting up a ton of shots from deep.
And knocking down a bunch of them, too. Outstanding shooting in this fourth quarter.
And that's a killer instinct on display as they try to put this one on ice.
And, you know, this is what's needed at this point in the game, Greg. The great teams know how to close it out.
And so it's the Timberwolves taking care of business here. It was a tale of 2 teams tonight, one that was in total control, operating flawlessly, and the other just searching for answers that they could never find.
I mean, the energy here is just so tremendous. Fans involved from the get-go, and once they started to really pour it on, it was fun to see that rhythm and flow from their perspective.
And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thank you, Kevin. Now, Cole, how do you think your second unit performed in terms of cohesiveness?
I think we're playing really well. You know, the best thing about us is we really try to hunker down and play a lot of defense.
Hey, congrats on the win, Cole. Thanks. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that about wraps it up. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. So long.